You got it on?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
it's May 30, so. Okay, first thing on the agenda is to welcome guests. And let's see, we have plenty of guests this morning. And the Bureau of Reclamation, welcome. And Sue told me you'd like to be on first. So I'd like to introduce yourself to the rest of the board. Jennifer and
Oh, that first.
no,
I was prepared to wait my turn.
Jude told me you wanted to be first.
I apologize. I have a rather large call this morning with all my Washington, D.C. higher-ups. I was just texting them, telling them I might be a few minutes late.
I'll tell you what, if you're smart to get out of here, I'll go with you. Like that.
Sure, join me. It'll be an interesting call. I can assure you that. Thank you so much for the invite down. I know I've been remiss in not coming down sooner. Jennifer Failer, the area manager for the Bureau of Reclamation Albuquerque area office. I did bring some folks with me. I'd like to introduce them as well. Yvette McKenna is the head of our water management division. I'll talk a little bit about a reorganization that we had in Albuquerque that does affect this area down here. So Yvette McKenna is a key staff member for us, overseeing all the water operations. We combined all the Rio Grande operations together in one division before they were separated, and we're already seeing the benefits of our staff that operates San Manchama project, Middle Rio Grande project, having a better understanding of how the water works down here and vice versa. Some of the tools we've been using up north, Jerry's had a chance to use some of those and kind of take a step forward technology-wise. So it's really been beneficial already, and hopefully you're not seeing any negative impacts in that, and you'll see some positive
Well, there's
impacts.
no water. What happened to that?
Well,
Y'all's fault.
that's not true. That and I on our drive down, we drove by Caballo. Apparently the Royals were really flowing yesterday, so there's a 3,000 CFS spike coming through El Paso. So we did bring water with us.
Yeah, okay, well,
we reduced
Put
releases
that in the
yesterday.
record. It's your fault we got all that water.
Yeah, hopefully it's a good thing. So Jerry Melendez is a Bureau of Reclamation employee. We were just able to bring him on permanent, which has been great. Jerry has a master's degree, a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in engineering, so it's been great to be able to bring him on full time. And then we also have historically shared our office space with USGS, and they've moved out the last few years, but we're fortunate to rebuild that relationship. And Delbert works for USGS and just joined us in the last month or so?
Almost 3 months.
3 months. In your position?
I'm a hydrologist in the El Paso field office. So.
Anything else you guys want to say? I think you'll see these guys more often at board meetings and myself as well. I've been very focused on, I call it the election year stuff. I'm hopeful that the fact that Washington, D.C. folks are very focused on an Albuquerque area office, which I would call a field office because there's a whole region above us between DC, but they've really been picking some key projects in my office and working directly with the Albuquerque area office for about the last year. And it's been a fun ride. It's always, in a way, it's good to have attention from above, but it takes an awful lot of time and resources when you're supporting high-level bureaucrats on some key initiatives. It takes a lot of effort for our office, and I'm thinking that's going to end with the administration. They're trying to get some wins. They bring in folks at the end of an 8-year administration. People start leaving about 6 years into that. So I call them the tweeners. There's these folks that come and work for, they're congressional appointees or political appointees, and they cover that 2-year gap from the real administration folks that start finding new jobs. And these folks come in and they're very energetic and they want to go out and get some great stuff done. And so they have about 3 initiatives in my office, and we're making some good progress on those. So it's really been keeping me busy in my first year on the job, which started last May. So I've had about a year in the seat, and I'm learning a lot more about the Rio Grande project as well. That's one of the key initiatives for DC right now. So the lack of water down here causes a lot of attention, and we're working through obviously a lot of legal proceedings, and we're hopeful that some good things will come of that. We're very supportive of the operating agreement. You know, we spent a good 4 months sort of trying to demystify the operating agreement for folks. We had some new people come in and learn it from fresh eyes, and then they were the folks that taught it. And so I think that was a good approach for us to take, to have some new folks come in and really share what the operating agreement's about. And what a good tool it's been, and really all you have to say is this tool came into play and it was tested by 4 years of drought and it's working just fine. And so I think we were able to get that message out there that the operating agreement is a great tool and it's worked great under the hardest of conditions. And so I think that's where we are today, is it has a lot of credibility and the United States is really standing behind it. So we talked a little bit about the reorg and sort of where I'm at in my tenure as area manager. We're really focused on our new organization. We've made some business changes and we're getting comfortable with those changes now and rebuilding the team. Sequestration caused a lot of the staffing levels in the U.S. government went way down with sequestration, and I was just reading the other day that we're back to pre-sequestration staffing levels. That's true in my office as well. We really hit rock bottom on staffing levels. The management team is really focused on hiring right now, and we're all sharing our stories about people applying for jobs in the Bureau of Reclamation, and we're getting some great people applying for our jobs. So we're excited to build a new team in Albuquerque and work with our stakeholders in a very transparent way, and just have kind of a new future for the Albuquerque area office. So it's a great time for input. If there's anything you'd like us to do differently than we've done in the past, or maybe the message is, no, don't change a thing. We like working with the Bureau of Reclamation, and that's great too. So, Chewy, anything else I should have covered, or?
Maybe the 100-year anniversary celebration. I've got it on my agenda to discuss with the board, but if you want to.
Perfect, and you're all invited. Hopefully the word's gotten out to folks. October 16th, 19th. We see, good, the word has gotten out. We chose the day that it was commission, the terminology, where there was a lot of different days we could have chosen for the 100-year anniversary, but really the day that it was commissioned, and we started storing water there when it was done, and we're thinking that's going to be an interesting date that we chose, because the reservoir is going to be so low that we're reenacting that the 1916 conditions for when the dam was brand new and there was no water behind the dam. But our public affairs gal is managing that anniversary. Bureau of Reclamation just had the Grand Canyon turned 50 years old. I was at that celebration. We had Sally Jewell, the Secretary of Interior, came out for that, and Ann Castle, Assistant Secretary for Water and Science, came to that event. Flaming Gorge, I believe, also turned 50, so Reclamation is in the business of throwing birthday parties for a lot of our dams around there, and it really puts Elephant Butte in perspective that it's turning 100 when a lot of our other dams that people have heard of are only 50 years old. But one thing I do remember from the Glen Canyon Dam is a lot of folks crediting, the folks that are around there and what a good design they did and what a great dam that is, and it couldn't have been built any better. So that's one thing Reclamation takes pride in, is our engineering and building things right the first time. So that was a fun event. We are thinking in the political year we might get some high-level visits from folks, and so somebody actually called and checked the president's schedule that week, and he's available. But we're thinking a Secretary of Interior level, Commissioner level visits as well. So.
Well, Jim and I were the only two that were there on the original celebrations.
We'll make you part of the reenactment, if you don't mind. We learned this again at our other dam celebrations. But right now, the kids of parents who worked and built the dam, so we're hoping to have folks like that there who were around from the beginning. So thanks for that.
And I'd just like to mention that thanks to the operating agreement, our constituents, our farmers, are mostly conserve and try and irrigate as fast as they can and conserve as much water as we can, so we can carry over for the following year, and we know where we're at early on. So
that reliability of supply.
We hope that gets passed on at this celebration, that maybe they have water, because thanks to El Paso, I know we get kicked a lot about.
Yeah, the little bit of water is there as we have your conservation efforts. Okay, that's a good message as well.
Mr. Earl, I might just mention that We are beset at the moment by a number of eminent domain condemnation cases attempting to, by the gondonor, to take interest in our canals and drains. One that we were all in deposition this week over involves a company called Comanche Pipeline. And they are a Mexican company transporting natural gas from the area of Odessa, Texas, into Mexico. And it's a huge money project for the Mexican owners. The publicity is that they expect, Carlos Slim expects to make $2 billion in his personal pocket. And when the United States executed the deed they gave us in 1996, the U.S. reserved easements in all of our property. So I'm thinking more and more about the probability that you need to be in these suits. One suit, we are dealing with the U.S. Attorney out of San Antonio, Ms. Callahan, Christy Callahan, and we're already in federal court there. And we have a very comfortable relationship with Ms. Callahan. And the other cases are in state court. And I would rather have them in federal court. And so I just mentioned to you that I brought up in the deposition that the U.S., given its overriding, continuing, perpetual interest through its easements, and having built the project in the first place, might be an indispensable party. And I guess that's the only comment that would be appropriate at the moment. We had a long day yesterday involving the case that's been filed by Texas in the Supreme Court. And the U.S. Has its attorneys and is heavily involved in the briefing that's going on there. We have a special master appointed by the Supreme Court, and that was what our business was mainly about yesterday. And
I've been waiting for an update from the solicitor. I've been checking my phone all morning. I wasn't on the call. They wanted to keep the U.S. members down, so I was hoping to have some kind of summary from them I could share, but that hasn't come through yet.
I think
You were on the call.
It'd be great for you to be in the loop. So that's all I'll say this morning. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna get in touch with our attorney, Chris Rich, about the pipeline issue and probably set up a call to get him up to speed on this. And
Okay, we like everybody in reclamation, but Chris Rich is beloved to us.
Oh, I was gonna say, I have other attorneys if we need, but so Chris is the right.
Well, he knows it. He really knows it.
He's the right guy.
And
Right.
he's always wanting to help, and you'll find ways.
He was the other one that was there whenever they opened the dam. Tell him I said that.
Jennifer, where does Dan Terrence fit in this reorganization? Is he still there? Or?
That's part of the, yeah, he was running the storage group up at Elephant Butte Dam.
Okay.
I know he's originally from El Paso, so it was partially strategic reorganization, but also he wanted to relocate down to El Paso for family reasons, so that worked out well. We're trying to, we've had a little bit of stovepiping in our organization. That's really the main driver for the reorganization, whether it's the engineering division not wanting to share information with the environment division. It just, those stovepipes really slow everything down, and some of our field offices were in the same environment, so we kind of just, we're doing those things that to build a team and have people work together, and rather than hierarchy and stovepipes, we want everybody, we want to have projects, and we want people to work as a team to complete projects and work with stakeholders. It makes for a more transparent environment, especially when there's a lot of litigation. The last thing, I mean, we spend a lot of time trying to be more transparent on the operating agreement, because people didn't know how that worked, and it caused us, it's easier to be transparent in the beginning than to recover from the problems that happen when you don't have people trusting you and they think you're doing things that you're not, just because you're not sharing information. So Dan, coming from the power side of an Elephant Butte, he's more of that kind of transparent teamwork person, and for personal reasons he wanted to come down to El Paso, so that was a good fit, and every indication are he's fitting in and doing a great job down there. He reports to Yvette now, so we have a northern with the water ops north, water ops south, and then Yvette also oversees all of our project managers that work on the Water Smart grants and things, so all the water and water planning is under Yvette, and so Dan reports to Yvette, and that's where we're down. We've spent some time in the field office really building those relationships and more comfortable working relationships, and it seems to be paying off. This is.
So, as to the operating agreement, I'm personally very proud of it. It was a product that came about as a result of the lawsuit we had here in federal court, in Judge Bill Martinez's court. And I think it's a great agreement. I have one message to anybody who wants to look into it, and that is, we're not changing one jot. Not a comma, not a period.
Not a typo?
Not a typo. We don't make typos.
Jennifer, the only issues that I wanted to visit with you this morning about is the initiative to leave 25,000 acre-feet in Caballo at the end of the year. And I think we've already gone on record as being opposed to it. Want to reiterate that. There's no need for it. In our estimation, it's nothing but an evaporation pan and seepage pan. And unless there's water comes in from one of those arroyos after the deal's shut, we sure are opposed to letting any out of Elephant Butte to establish that. So I want to go on record as saying that. I think we already have, and I hope you all can reconsider that, because it's, in this time of drought, it's a very, very wasteful procedure, I guess. But it gives us concern of that, and we went through this one time before where they wanted to leave 50,000 feet in there because there was 2 eagles nesting there, and my only concern was that if an eagle can carry off a sheep, he can fly up to Elephant Butte and get a drink. I mean, come on, that was, you know,
quite a visual.
So anyway. You know, and I'm not sure what the whole initiative is about, but I want you to know for sure that we're very opposed to that happening,
Yes.
because this is I guess probably maybe it's going to be the drought of record. Everybody thought that the 50s were bad, but I think this one's going to surpass the 50s substantially. So we look for every potential opportunity and manner in which to save water, and we sure would like for our partners in this deal to do the same. So, having said that, you got anything else this morning, Jennifer?
I don't. I wanted to give the board an opportunity to ask me any questions, share some of my thoughts with you folks as well. Do plan to come down more than once a year, so this will be an ongoing dialogue. We do have an office nearby, so you know, obviously we're around. We've encouraged our staff to attend both irrigation districts.
Well, we've had a real good relationship with the Bureau over the years, and Chris is one of them, and we can name all the ones back for years and years, and we've always had a good relation. We want to continue that, so we appreciate you taking the time out and coming and visiting with us this morning.
My pleasure. This is a beautiful spot down here. I hadn't been south of the Isleta irrigation. I followed the irrigation down that far, so I'm glad to come down a little further. We're going to take a drive through some of the farmland. We're not going to just hop on the interstate and head out.
Sure.
We'll
They need to go down to Husbands, right?
Ah, that's not a bad idea. That's high on the radar.
There you go.
That's a good idea. Actually, we could do that. So thank you for having us. Just sort of an ongoing successful relationship, but a new relationship, because we're building a new team, and I hope you folks see the benefits of that. And if you ever have any concerns, don't hesitate to call, because our goal is to serve our stakeholders and help out how we can. And I appreciate the sound bites you're sending me back with for Chris Rich.
Thank you so much.
No, our pleasure. We'll hang around a little while longer. You guys might stay a little bit longer, but now hit the road tree.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you,
And
Jennifer.
maybe we can do that tour later. when-
Well, I'll be back for a full
Okay.
tour, absolutely.
Okay. All right, Robert, you're the other guest. You have anything to say?
Well, I'm working them out at the lower level there, but like I say, that return flow is my most valuable asset in 8 and 9, so
Okay.
the longer and the earlier, the better.
The longer and earlier, the better.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's see, let's get into the business at hand then. We have the minutes of 6:10 and 7:22 meetings.
The very first one on June 10th, on page 2, just a typo, just we're talking about typo. Number 5 says in black, the resolve the board of directors give the Jim Spear.
What's wrong with that? Isn't that correct?
Yeah, that sounds all right to me.
Is it now a monument?
Our way.
It's a monument. The Jim Spear. Okay.
Who won?
Any other corrections or additions?
And that was all I
Either
said.
set.
That was all I saw. I thought maybe there was a monument.
They was, yeah, that's, let's don't
It's
go
a
there.
monument.
Move on,
Couldn't read
next
these things. Are any other additions, corrections to the minutes of either of the two meetings? If not, I entertain a motion to approve them as presented with that one correction.
So moved.
Art makes a motion, and our second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Okay, Mary, financial reports. We've had a transition in banks.
Yes,
Is that
we
going
did.
okay?
It went smoothly, everything worked fine. We are able to still use any checks and so forth, and still have First National Bank, I believe up until a year.
Yeah.
A year or 2 years or something.
Yes.
All right.
So everything went smoothly. We also have a CD that will mature this month, August 25th. The 6-month CD, and we'll go ahead and renew us as.
Okay, we go out for bids for those, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and they never have in the past wanted to put up any bonds against it, reserves against it. Are they gonna do this like the First National is?
Yes, all the pledges have already been
Pledges,
switched over
okay.
to Westar.
Okay,
That was
so
the
they,
first thing. that
they're
was
gonna continue to
complete.
do that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Then we have the balance sheet.
Any questions, anybody?
Except I do like the note at the end, pretty good.
It only took 4 years to come. Countless arguments.
Yeah.
I like it too. It's more arguments. Anything under the cash flow budget performance? No. You guys have anything under the cash flow budget? No. Okay. $500 check report. There's none for 500.
Mary, on
There's
page,
another one for 500.
Mary, on page 1, the 2/3 down there, Mary Jane D. Cutler. That was a refund of use fee.
Yes.
Yes, I was used fee for a license in the west side, up in the west side where they had it's there, the Montoya A is underground into their houses, and there was a previous document license that made permission to cross, so we have duplicated the effort there.
Right. And it's still in effect, it was a 50-year
Yes.
by the Bureau of Reclamation, so.
50-year license for the Bureau, so we reimbursed the use fee.
Okay, okay.
And canceled the license. Yes.
cancel the license.
That's an interesting thing.
You know, those just, you guys can reference for future, I don't want to buy Phil or Jim, but that cancellation of license should come before the board.
Yes.
For action. Is it on this?
No.
Okay, we'll put it on next month's agenda. So, you guys really should take action to cancel.
Thanks for having a resolution to cancel it.
What do you think?
Yes.
Okay, and the only one I saw was on page 3 of 3 at the very top. It says, I didn't understand that for 4550, is that a 2-day developing a well, or then it has a 1 in parentheses? Are those 2 wells?
That was the charge for one well.
1 well for 2
And it's a
days?
2-day development, yes.
Dang, I got out of that business too early, didn't I? Okay.
Did it work?
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah.
If it
Did
worked,
we
it
develop
would.
it, or?
My question, why did it take 2 days, makes me nervous.
Yeah.
It was a relocation of
Well,
what
was-
you all had approved.
well, did it work?
Yes,
It's a relocation.
Cleaned up slightly.
It wasn't just a working on a well, okay.
right, it's a relocation.
It was
Okay.
a total of 5 wells.
Right. You all
Yeah,
authorized
it's a new well.
5.
Okay, well, now it looks a little better to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, if it works, it's good, and if it's
Yeah.
just something,
If it works.
a little bit.
So, let me see, they did 5 wells in 2 days, is what it said?
No,
No,
Oh.
no, they did one, and then their machine broke down, and
Oh, okay.
there was a delay, and they started up again like 2 or 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with it now, I understand, I just thought 2 full days of developing a well.
Less than $4,500 fixed machine.
And I have an old.
It's 4 hours.
Yeah. Okay, that was all.
Any other questions, or Larry, any questions?
No, that was the same question I had.
You got the credit card report from back? Any questions of that?
Just, Mary and Lisa, your reimbursable expenses are fairly high there, those are,
and that's because of the regular circle emergency that we recently had.
okay.
Say that again?
That's because of the bad day circle, the reimbursement we recently had.
Yeah, the overtopping of, that I'll report on my section.
Okay. All right. It's total, good thing, wasn't it?
Legal and consulting fees, let's go by that in a hurry.
Yeah, please.
We don't wanna look at that one. Why do you put it in the small print so we can't see how much we're spending? Does that prepare this report?
Make it 6 points. It's supposed to be a foot, it's supposed to be a footnote anyway.
You gotta have a magnifying glass to see. Any questions of any of that? Those deal with things just continue to grow up, go up and up. It's part of it. All right. Mary, anything else? We need to prove, we don't need, this is not quarter, but
No, so-
just let the record show we looked at all those and no action taken on any of them, so, reviewed them, I guess is the best way to say it. Okay, Rose.
We got 2 months, Rose.
We got 2 months. Good morning.
Good morning.
On our first month, we have no tax adjustments.
That's the best kind.
Public Service Board, project 2013 through 2016, obtaining leases. We have processed 1,359 leases, collected $135,900 in processing fees, and collected $29,754.17 in collected and delinquent taxes from Public Service Board. Next report, we have Lower Valley Water District. The project is the same. We have made contact with the Public Service Board as far as regarding payment delinquent taxes, and we have not gotten an answer back. So far, we've processed 340 leases, collected $34,000 in processing fees. next report is a comparison. We are at 98.1088% versus July 2015, we were at 97.89993%. So we're ahead. And we're still working to continue that. One of our projects is we are contacting accounts that are $100 to $200, comparing our records to those of the city tax office. If there's a mortgage company involved, we will be contacting the mortgage company, see if there should be paying taxes before it gets any more money as far as the delinquencies. Our next report is our tax suits. There was one account that was not suited, and there were 0 accounts. Our next report, we do have 2 tax adjustments. The first one, the property was owned by Mr. and Mrs. Lascivious. Due to unpaid taxes, the property was sold at a tax sale. This was June 3rd, 2014. There being no bail, the property was transferred to El Paso County as trustee, and we label those accounts as code 3s. So on our books are known as trustee accounts that do not accumulate any more taxes nor penalty notice. We have not been notified by the law firm that the account had no bid, so we assessed the 2014 and the 2015 taxes. There was a proration on the 2014 taxes. There would be 170 days taxable, and we were supposed to do all of 2015 tax assessment. That'd be a total of $21.23. Our next account, the property was under a tax exempt entity. The property had been sold to North Loop Apartments. This was July 10th of 2015. Therefore, being a private owner, it would lose its tax exempt status. We need to remove the 2015 tax assessment. We would have to prorate. There's going to be 190 days of tax exempt, but there will be 175 days of taxable days. On this, I just want to mention that the present owner, North Loop Apartments, had notified this office of the change. I had not reached it myself, but they had my contact with one of the employees in the tax office, and we did not make the change at that time. Therefore, we're going to waive the penalty interest. So they have 21 days to pay.
Okay, but they recognized that and we'll pay it.
Yes, sir. And it's $101.52 that we're going to put on the books.
So I hear a motion to approve the 2 adjustments for tonight.
So moved.
In our seconds, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign, yours.
Our next report is the 2013 to 2016 El Paso Public Service Board leases. At present, we have processed 1,394 leases, collected $139,400 in processing fees, and collected $29,992.27 in delinquent taxes. The 2015-16 Lower Valley Water District assignments, we have processed 340 leases, collected $34,000 in processing fees. Our next report, we have August 2016 at 98.3350% versus August 2015, we were at 98.1738%. So again, we're ahead on our collections.
That's great. Lower value, pay those taxes, we increase that.
Our tax suits, we had 6 accounts paid in full. And what we started doing is having more communication with our law firm regarding accounts that have been released, tax suits have been released, have been closed or not suited. And there have been 9 accounts that have been not suited, released, or closed as of this date. So we'll be removing those accounts for next month. And that's all.
All right, well, Rose, thank you, good job, keep it up as usual.
I do need a motion on the tax adjustments.
We already did that.
We did,
We
I'm sorry.
We did.
Oh, you guys are
You were
fast.
reading
I think we did, didn't we, sir?
Yes, we
Yes,
I was asleep, I don't know, might have been dreaming.
For next month.
And that's right. As usual, Rose, thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
thank you.
Okay, general manager, you know.
Item A, I guess, that's already been covered. Item B, where the circle overflow that we had a total of 8 homes affected. 2 of them seriously that were located right where the overflow occurred. The overflow occurred on the 1D. It was a 36-inch culvert that is located there underneath a city street. We had some rocks and a tire that started the problem, and then we had mowed upstream, which affected the situation and rapidly caused the overflow. But
Is that around your room or?
it's close to my house,
Oh,
there by,
You needed water.
off of Lee Trevino.
Wow, okay.
You know where the monastery is?
Yeah.
Right behind there, that park that's there. So what we've done so far, Pete went in there with his men. We, of course, assisted the families, those 2 families that were impacted the most. Lisa, I called Lisa out. She relocated 2 families to a hotel. We had very good cooperation. Alan Schubert and John Ballou sent us a couple of the pumper trucks that assisted us. And we also had the fire department there that came in to assist us. And then Pete took over from there. We did the cleanups with our manpower, and we've contacted the insurance company. Of course, you know how insurances work. First they tell you no, and then we've gotten them to change their mind. We appealed to regional, Lisa, is it, in Dallas?
Yes, headquarters.
At headquarters, and they were completely different to work with, and they have come in with their adjusters, and from what we were told yesterday, they're going to cover the damages.
Oh, wow. That's a new one.
Yes, and it was great. It was at first it was tough, right?
Yeah.
We had a few choice words that we used, and that we I think got their attention, but thank goodness they're covering. People are happy to, we did everything we could to assist. What we've done, Pete went in there and built up towards one side where the homes are. It's an older residence area. We built up that bank about a foot higher, because on the opposite side we have a park. So if we have any more problems, the water will go to the park and give us some time to shut the water off upstream.
Unless it's a total.
Yes, that could be a different situation, correct. Pete has I talked to Pete. Pete went and met with City Streets. Those culverts are just too small. They've caused us some problems on that same canal before. So they're going to work with Pete on replacing, I think we're identifying 5.
Aren't they supposed to clean those to keep them clean?
Yes,
And we had rocks and tires and
yeah. So,
didn't take much of a tire to.
Yeah, we met with engineering yesterday, we all met, and we're gonna go ahead and have our inspector inspect every culvert and write a letter. Judy will prepare a letter for the city. And I guess it needs to be done every year. They're supposed to do it, but we need to
So
start.
you're gonna have to follow, yeah, you're gonna have to do it. So, I mean, you can go inspect it, tell
Yeah.
it.
And then, as we can, I know it'll be a big room, you got 5 already targeted. That,
Yes.
we don't size culverts anymore for flow, we size them for, well, it was a 5-gallon bucket once, and now it's a tire. We size them to pass debris, because they
Is it only concrete right there at the culvert?
yeah. Well,
A
actually,
little bit
it's,
before, a little bit after?
Is
It wasn't a bank issue.
it's not even concrete.
Oh, it's not a.
It wasn't a
Yeah, it's a
Freeport
culvert
issue, it
and-
wasn't a,
Yeah, just the
It was
culvert,
just
maybe
your-
4 foot aprons on it.
it was a, everything was, the freeboard was right, banks were all right. I mean, it was lower, but it was still adequate for all safety things. It was strictly the culvert hadn't been cleaned, had debris in it, the tire caused the failure. And so it backed up, plugged up the culvert. It was only at 15 CFS, right?
They were running 20.
20? Well, it's designed for 30. Right, so, so it was only at 2/3 capacity. And it's just, but we just are gonna have to go through them all and replace them with 48s.
Well, we're recommending
Basically, just
60.
keep the ones we
60s
got
with
clean.
an orange, yeah.
Good luck replacing them, but keeping the ones clean would be a big.
Well, we worry because the tire problem's so serious and
Yeah.
that it could happen.
No, I mean, replacing's a lot better, but I'm just saying that's gonna take some time, but they need to, is there anything that we need to do from the district transport, position to prevent this, is there anything?
Well, we've got that new alarm system that Al's been working on that alerts us and all the supervisors as to the flows, if they get too high or drop too low, on our phones. And Al's gonna look at this canal in particular. We don't have any telemetry in that area, but we're gonna look at maybe possibly some sites there.
Anywhere there's homes and there's
It's-
problems in the past, we need to do the best.
Yeah,
we can.
the problem with that is that Pete and I talked about it yesterday, and Robert and I, that there's, because in the urbanization, there's so many streets that effectively from culvert to culvert is your reach that would set off a high-level alarm. And then we're probably talking about at least, how much we come up with, 100 reaches that would have to have, in other words, if we had it one street down or one street up, it wouldn't have shown anyway, so it's very difficult. I think the other thing Chewy and I talked about is engineering did a survey from the Franklin Canal because of its size and the issues that we had in terms of potential flooding, and to give to Pete so that he's got targets, and we've got some reports on that. Actually, we're scheduled for today and next board meeting, about bringing freeboard up and gopher control and all those type of things. And we could add to those surveys from now on when we do the culvert inspections too. We haven't taken that survey to the lateral level because we always thought the laterals were fairly low probability because there's small amount of flow. And in this case with the urban trash we're getting, it changes that. If there hadn't been any, believe me, I'm pretty sure Robert agrees with me, if there hadn't been a tire or Pete, there would have been a problem.
Right.
So,
But 20 CFS through your living room is pretty good.
yeah, well, it probably wasn't all of that, and we shared it with 3 people, so. But and it happened, what do you think the time from pluggage to overtopping was? Probably 15 minutes, it was real fast.
Yeah.
Because just the nature of the system right there, so it's really difficult. So again, by license, obligations was for the city to inspect and clean. You're not really going there on this particular one in terms of those issues, but they are responding, and I think we need to stay on top. Just like we did with TxDOT, and have had good results with TxDOT, right?
Yeah.
So on their annual program, so we need to make sure this winter that they clean all their culverts.
So there's a possibility, insurance spoke with Lisa yesterday, and there's a possibility that we'll get reimbursed for what out-of-pocket we've had. They've asked Lisa to itemize what we've spent already, and so they've been talking to her about possible reimbursements.
But not for the damage.
They're gonna cover
That too.
yes, yes.
Right.
Yeah, none of our facilities were damaged.
Right,
No, I was talking about damages.
Damages to
people, the ones that I was concerned about is.
right.
Is the people.
So that's all I had. I know Indar asked me some questions about our ditch rider and where was he, and, they need to be more on alert. And the thing is that, we've looked at it, we looked at the GPS. He was roaming, he wasn't stopped anywhere for a long time, so it's just one of those things that occurred rapidly. That's all I had on that subject, unless there's any questions from you all.
Well, sounds like you did all you could, and it's really good news to hear the insurance company going to step up.
And actually, we had changed insurances this year's, and we have travelers now, so.
That's probably.
they've been better to work with, I think. And not that the other
Obviously,
companies.
since that's the first time under it worked, so it's amazing.
Don't ask any questions.
Item C, the 100-year anniversary celebration. I've had Lisa and Kathy participate on the phone conferences with the Bureau of Reclamation on this. What I've been requested is, of course, they want to print materials on the agenda as soon as possible. So they're asking if one of our board members wants to speak. They're asking for a speaker representing El Paso #1. And
You know, I'm gonna think I'm gonna be here that day, and I'll check it out, see.
okay.
I really think I've already got a deal.
Silverton, not straight if he's available.
I'm saying that, you know, I don't know for sure. I think he's more rusty.
Rusty, no, that's me, Rusty.
So they want a board member.
They want a board member.
Yeah,
That's
just-
Johnny,
just
that
me.
doesn't sound like Dart.
Looks like they're gonna have the governor from New Mexico there. They're going to, she's already accepted the invitation, I understand, and they've got some people coming in from Washington.